Welcome to the next installment of the Dismount Podcast. And today, the squad is gearing up and we are discussing milestones. Have you heard all the different ways to live? Whoa. So I just got to take a quick moment here and give a little applause to the boys. Yep. Little applause to the boys. Everybody out there, we got the Roadcaster going now. We got the Rode mics. We are pretty deep into this podcasting thing.
We are directly sponsored by Rode. They paid for everything.
That would have been pretty badass.
Next time.
They'll get us on the return.
We owed them one.
Yeah, we did owe them one, maybe. We owed them their milestone of being a part of the Dismount Podcast.
I agree. Wow. Yeah. That's going to be monumental for them.
They're never going to recover.
No.
All right, y'all. We're talking milestones today, and the squad is getting together. What even is a milestone for us? For me, I'll take it from the get-go here. A milestone to me was something that once you've gone through that experience, you've come out onto the other side, you look back and you honestly don't recognize like what the version of you was before that accomplishment or before that experience. Like that to me was what a milestone was. Mm-hmm. Yourself, Tip?
Mine's similar. Mine it was marking based off of a time or experience that has passed, and you could either validate elements of yourself or you're seeing it as a transformational experience. So like I don't know, like confirmation's a good one for Catholics. Like either you are going to start choosing the church back, or you're just going to say, no, I'm not going to church anymore. But you get that choice after confirmation.
Where you sit on milestones.
I feel like that's a bit like student loans. Like, it feels like that's a decision I should not make when I'm 12 years old. Like, hey, are you sure you're willing to accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior right now? And I'm like,
with interest.
Just try. Just try.
You can have his love, but only with interest.
Well, listen, we're doing a special right now. It is a Black Friday special down here at the congregation. It is a no interest, zero interest in on your...
If you accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior right now, we'll throw in a free pair of AirPods. How's that sound? Okay.
The new one?
Yeah, I can hear Jesus calling me.
Wireless.
Oh, Lord Almighty. A milestone for me would be something that, like, I guess I set out to accomplish, or maybe not. Maybe it's something natural like that. But I feel like it's something that you have on your radar, you're working towards, and then obviously the big payoff is accomplishing that. But I think it's like something that it's always been something I seek after finishing, whether it's a goal at work or something physical or a milestone personally of like, I said it also has numeric value for some reason. I don't know why I always think of a milestone being numerical, but like the amount of miles we ride on a bike or the amount of beers I can drink in one sitting, like things of that nature always seem to be a milestone for me. But I see it as something that like it at least helps me become a little more structured in things I want to go out and do.
I definitely like milestones for me were kind of like, they definitely were moments looking back that I know, like I had said, I didn't really recognize myself prior to it. Like probably one of the biggest milestones that I can lay down and lock in on was lacrosse. Like lacrosse for me had so many milestones of just like I started that sport so late. I mean, technically it's not really that late for some people because most of us, a lot of us when I was growing up, like we didn't have lacrosse until high school. Mm-hmm. But like starting lacrosse in 7th grade like seemed late because most of the kids had already been playing since like 4th grade. And you're like, whoa. So all the things that I accomplished in like literally
for all who don't know, what skills for people who don't know lacrosse would you say? I have a few of my own, but what skills are you thinking of?
Personally, just for me, it was the discipline. Mm-hmm. Like I had this weird regimen where I would leave school, I would go home, I'd eat, I'd probably jerk off, And that's
Grab your first stick before you grab your metal one.
it's just Real Housewives of Orange County. But anything that was good on Bravo at that point in time. No. That's why, honestly, I joke about
Mom's new
stuff.
catalog came in. It's a Sears Christmas edition.
The Apprentice.
No. So I come I come home, I'd do my thing, I'd eat, and then I would honestly, like, I'd go up to the wall, and I would just wall ball for hours. And then I would go to practice, and then I would literally come home from practice, I'd eat, and then I would just go for like a run. And I would just run. And like, so honestly, that discipline that I lost in my 20s and then like started to actually build back in my late 20s was what I looked back on, was like, whoa, that milestone that you accomplished back then, like, why did you just like lose that? Like, you now have accomplished that milestone now twice because you totally forgot the lesson the first time. And that to me was like, I was sitting there and I was thinking about it like, oh, well, your statement was you can't recognize yourself prior to that. But then you had the thoughts of like, oh, can I actually accomplish a milestone twice? And is it actually considered a milestone if I accomplish it twice?
So you think the milestones are more lessons for you than they are like tangible accomplishments, like something that would have like a participation award or something, like something you can actually hold or touch?
Well, see, that's where like the rite of passage that is something that we were going to talk about later kind of threw in that like extra piece to me, to where like I thought of as a rite of passage as in like I'm in a tribe or I'm in a community or I'm in a family. For instance, like I used biking for us, and like being someone who has accomplished a century ride, being someone who's rode over 100 miles, you're now in the century club.
Yeah, okay.
So that to me is like a rite of passage, to where like for instance, like old school style of like being in a tribe and the kid being sent off into the woods to get his first hunt all alone, and he comes back a man. That to me was like a rite of passage. It was something that was more locked into like an overall arcing community, arguably.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I think like a rite of passage is like getting a wedgie or something. Like, I don't know, like experience. Yeah, like I don't know, like yeah, it's like something that everyone who is seeking out what you're seeking out has experienced. Like I don't know if it's a milestone, but maybe it's like, I look at it as like something that happens along the way, maybe to a milestone. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but like I think, oh, like if you graduate high school, chances are like you got in a fight or you dealt with a bully or something. Like I don't, like that's like a rite of passage on the way to accomplishing your milestone, which is like graduating high school and growing up or whatever it may be. It's the way I looked at it.
Yeah, so if we're looking at milestones, I mean, if we're putting it into like a very simplistic way to look at it, would be like graduate high school is a milestone. Your balls drop is a milestone. Like stuff like that. Yeah. Like to me would be that's where like I honed in on what I started thinking about when I thought about milestones in this question of like, what are milestones that you have accomplished? Like I instantly went into things that I've accomplished with Anastasia and just me growing over the last 10 years of being in a relationship with somebody and who I've become now through that process. I thought of like all the things that I accomplished like with sports or different things throughout the years. But really, really what I locked into, man, that I just was kind of had a little bit of shame of like, what a dirty little horny bastard you are. Like the fact that
Dude's ready to rip today.
The fact that I like one of the things that I put down is like, what was one of the big milestones that you accomplished? And even though it was like a sitting there having like, oh, just start some word vomit, right? Your word vomit goes to losing your virginity.
It's a fair one. Honestly, hot take. Is that a rite of passage?
See, like that's what it could be, like into becoming a man. Like it's something that happens along the way into a larger milestone, like becoming a man.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's something, like if we riding your bikes and you know, getting to your first 100-mile ride, I think a rite of passage doing that is me getting to 60 and having John have to pick me up along the way when we were riding to his house. Like that's a knock I took on the way to accomplishing something larger.
I see what you're saying. So are the rite of passage, are those the lessons?
I don't know. I think that's why we're talking about it.
I think the crazy thing is we'll talk here for about an hour and we'll get to the end and the comment will end up being milestones and rite of passage and all this bullshit is whatever the fuck.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude.
I like to also think to distinguish the two from my perspective. I think for hunters, if you get your first deer, that's your milestone, but your rite of passage is drinking the blood.
Oh.
Like one's a circle, one's a rectangle. I don't know which one makes it which and which one can umbrella the other, but I would think of it that way with deer. Now you're in the club versus you got your goal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I took it as you're a part of the club now.
We're all on the same page.
Yeah, we're right on the same. We're right cooking along with it, man. What are some milestones you've knocked out, Tit?
I would say, so I wasn't really thinking much of lacrosse when I was writing it because I didn't want, we could write books on lacrosse and I've only played for like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, right.
But whenever I went to Slippery Rock, whenever I got my first car, whenever I was able to start paying bills, I feel like those were huge milestones. And then for me, I feel like one of the rite of passages was graduating. And I was fortunate enough, I got to experience it more than once. And in each of those times, everyone made a huge to-do. Like, it was a huge deal. Like, all right, now you're into, I remember my mom, she gave me money to buy my first, first like business clothes. Like I already had like dress clothes, but those were things for like weddings, funerals, like just occasions that you need to dress up. And then she's like, oh no, you need money for work clothes. Before you get your first paycheck, here's some money. And I felt like that in itself was almost a rite of passage. It's like, she told me, I'm the type, I'll be like, I don't want it. No, I don't need it. No, I don't want it. She's like, no, I gave your brother money whenever he graduated to go get some work clothes. Now here's your money to go get some work clothes. So I feel like Slippery Rock, buying my own car, starting to pay bills, those were all milestones. And then my rite of passage was whenever my mom gave me some money to go buy. Now you're in the workforce. I wasn't finished. I think I got my first like career job while I was at the tail end of grad school. And my mom, that's when she gave me, the end of my second year. She was giving me money. So then that way I could basically just get everything, get dressed up and be a productive member of society.
Dude, when's this guy going to take over the hot seat?
I don't know.
Like, when is he just going to let me sit in the corner and do my little production?
Yeah. Straight producer.
Oh my God.
As I've gone into editing the podcast and where I just like, every time Brandon talks, like, that sounds really good. It's every time we talk, like, we should shut the fuck up.
No, seriously, Tit. Honestly, like the stuff that we're pulling out, like the milestones or the rite of passage or whatever the hell you want to put it down as of what we're doing together, you've been chalking shit off. Like,
thanks, Tom.
Seriously. And like all the stuff you've been putting together for the outlines and whatnot is taking this podcast to the next level in 2025. Because that to me was like, I honestly, we're sitting here, we're talking about milestones for all this, all these things that we've done separately, but I think this podcast has been a milestone for me in itself, like doing it with you guys.
Yeah, I had it down too.
Growth in this has been crazy, like learning new things, watching you like sit there and struggle for like a 7-hour day and make a small little clip, but then show up for the next day. You can't put a price on these things, man.
Yeah, that's what I think about like milestones to rites of passage. Would be like, cool, like a milestone encapsulating is like this podcast itself. It's a effort for us individually and together to go after something for ourselves and for each other, and then not in the sense of anything more than actually just finding something cool we'd like to do and really sinking our teeth in it. But then I think of like the rites of passage along the way is like, oh cool, I just edited this for 6 hours and now my computer crashed. Like that's a rite of passage on the way to accomplishing something bigger. But those frustrating bouts along the way are definitely interesting, and it's cool to see how like you can overcome those for sure.
Well, it's funny. I think you wrote it in these notes about like as you get older, it feels more scarce to like learn new things or like have that energy to put towards that. So like at 30 years old, like now gearing up and trying to do something that we know nothing about.
You got a cough button over there?
I don't have a cough button. I could have hit crickets during that time. Locked myself out with a rim shot. Ding.
Oh man.
But no, I would say, can we actually potentially, and I don't want to go dark on it, but it just popped into my head, you know, this next section that we had of talking about milestones that have shaped us. Could milestones actually shape you in a negative potential way?
Yeah.
And that's where I was just sitting here going, man, I looked at this thing that I wrote. When I used to live on Sherwood back in Bethel, there was a girl who lived next door to us, much younger than me. And the one day I saw her get tangled up in like the leash runner of her dog. And she's like out there like choking in her backyard. So I go running out and like save this girl from like the situation. And like as a young kid, like at like 10, 11 years old, like doing this. And then I watch Agent Cody Banks. And I'm just sitting there like, yo, I could totally be a secret agent, man. You see me just save that girl? Like, I'm going to save the world, dude. I'm going to do all this awesome ass shit, man. I'm going to be like, I'm going to be 007.
Frankie Muniz ain't got shit.
Yeah, Frankie Muniz ain't got shit. He ain't save no girl. He's over here with this hot chick in a red Ferrari, dude.
To be honest, Frankie Muniz in real life right now is probably 30 minutes away from us.
Really?
Right now. Because I think the mother of his child is in this area.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Weird. Did not know that.
Never seen him around.
Big shout out to Frankie, though. He's chill, dude.
I know because my old company, there's somebody that they knew the person that is the mother of his child. And they're like, yeah, I saw him at the gas station. I tried not to make a big deal about it.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, Malcolm. Is guy still down in the middle in there?
But I'm sitting here thinking, like, that was something that, like, I've had this thought of, like, for the longest time. I was like, oh, man, your mission in life is you're going to save the world. You're going to rid it of all the evil and everything's going to be great. And then you start diving into that, actually, and you start diving into yourself, and you're like, whoa, I have a really dark side to me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty powerful. And so to sit here and say, like, the dark side is, like, a bad thing, oh shit, dude, I got to be able to manipulate this to be able to start chalking off some milestones, to be able to not look at things that might happen to me and put serious weight onto them. Because like I'm sitting here thinking like, did that have anything to do with like the way that I thought in my late 20s, where I was trying to like, I was having arguments with my grandma and she's like, Zachary, you're one person and I don't want you to get hurt and I don't want to see you, you know, a lot of people have, you know, had their lives ended, like trying to fight this so-called darkness that you talk about in this world. Like, I don't want to see that happen to you. And you're just like, she's like, what can one person actually really do? And you're like, what can one person actually really do? Shit, one person could start a freaking revolution, man. One person could start some shit, you know?
Yeah.
And so I sit there and I was like, wow, did that plague me for a while? Maybe, who knows? But like, for you guys, like, has there been milestones that you feel have really shaped you into who you are right now or who you're trying to become?
Yeah. I mean, I think just thinking more recently, like, I did think of, you mentioned later on too, and I think we'll get to it, is like things that we haven't maybe accomplished yet, but like are still out there. And I'm like thinking about like paying off debt or thing like that. Like I would go back to even looking at school, like we were joking about confirmation, but for school for me, going to school when I was 18 because I felt like I had to go. I really didn't have a choice. So, like I was going to be the first person in my immediate family to graduate college. So it was like, you're going to go. Yeah, you're going. And that was really it. So I picked a school where I felt like I'd be most comfortable and owe a ton of money. And I'm like, man, like my current job kind of could have did that without a degree. Yeah. Crazy to think. And I know that might be a little bold to say, but like I genuinely think that like 18-year-old me could have done my job just as well as I'm doing it now. Honestly, like
it's tough.
Yeah. And thinking about all the money I pay, like I have to refinance my loans. Like I have to, that's like on the checklist here before my break's over. Like that has to get done. I am bleeding out money. Interest rates are crazy. So like that's something that comes with the milestone of like accomplishing a college degree. That's amazing work. Not everyone gets the opportunity, even the opportunity to do that, let alone actually go out and do it. So I am proud of that, but it's also like, damn, dude, like that also had a direct effect on like how my life has changed, or like the outcourse of a lot of things have gone since I graduated. I can't tell you how many times my life has been affected negatively because of money I owed to student loans. I paid all myself. Every dollar has been paid by me. And I'm still not there yet. But like, that's like cool. Like someone's like, oh, cool, you got a college degree that's going to shape your future for the rest of your life. And I go, well, I don't know right now if it was for benefit or not. I really don't feel that way.
Did anybody tell me that I was potentially going to be probed of all my time and money after the fact? Was that the rite of passage?
No, you're right. We're talking about, this is the rite of passage into getting fucked by society.
Yeah.
But
Passage.
yeah, the back pass.
Back passage.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that. But yeah, I guess you're crazy.
The douche.
You know, it is crazy to think about not only the financial portion of it, but thinking about like, okay, cool. Now, because I've made this investment, I better use this for the rest of my life. That's how fucking expensive it is. So you're thinking that, cool, like maybe I didn't even make the right decision. I was 18 of what I wanted to do with my life. So now not only am I robbing myself from financial freedom, I'm robbing myself from the freedom of just going out and doing what I actually want to do in my 30s. And look, that's through the 20s too. I'm like, dude, I got a communication degree. Like, I'll be honest, like, yeah, I did a communication degree because I was good at all that shit before I got into school. I was like, oh, cool. Well, I can write papers. I can do public speaking. I can do this shit. And it was like, to be honest, did it refine my skills? Yes. Was it worth the absurd investment? No. So people are like, oh, cool. Like a milestone. Did you accomplish that? I'm like, yeah, it's great. But what has it actually done for me? Is it more beneficial than it is not? And I think the answer is no. But then
my question, and I don't mean to cut you off, but I want to take you to a place of thought. With that communication degree, though, like all the stuff that you learned from that, what could you, like, I'm sitting here thinking, like, I didn't know that was what your degree was in.
Right.
I've known you for how many years, and I feel like a piece of shit that I didn't know that was what
do you think I did?
I honestly thought it was business.
No, I tried to get a business minor. I couldn't pass accounting too, so I dropped it.
Okay.
On my resume, so, business minor.
I'm pretty sure we're communicating right now, dude. I'm pretty sure like this is the heart of communication.
I understand that, but I could have done this. Like I had a passion to do this before I went to college. It was, and I get that's the fucking point. That's I'm so lucky that I knew what I liked doing before I went to college. It's that I felt like a little bit is that I just picked the wrong school. I feel like I could have picked a different school. I have no allegiance to my college. I could give a shit less.
Yeah.
Play sports, I don't care. If they want me to do some type of alumni, I don't care. I just don't care.
I know that all too well.
Right. So it's like, cool. Like, yeah, I was passionate enough to pick out something that I want to go after and knew like it's still something I enjoy doing now. But on the other hand, like that investment into the school and everything that went into it, the outcome didn't justify the amount of money that I paid on it. I'm still a lot of the same person I was then and know very similar amount of things as I did when I was 18. And maybe that's easy to say right now. But
because I would say respectfully, your situation was you paid basically damn near out-of-state tuition costs to not live. Like you paid $200,000 to get a degree when you were living at home.
$200,000, thank God. But
no, but I mean,
I paid a lot more money than probably either of you did.
Yeah. So
yeah, and that was because, and that's why I think it's ridiculous to make decisions like that. And that's another thing that I mentioned in notes too, was just rushing milestones because you feel like you are obligated to do so.
Yeah.
Right. So like whether that's having kids, whether that's buying a house or buying a car or taking a trip or buying whatever, it's always financial, it seems like for me. But I mean, kids, not so much financial, or getting married or whatever. Like those are things that like, I do appreciate that. I feel like it is a lesson I learned. And you're right. Like maybe we are just destined to make the wrong mistakes over and over again, or not wrong mistakes, but make the same mistakes over and over again. But that's one thing I will always keep in the back burner, is that I don't want to rush another financial decision because I still suffer the consequences of that one. Just because I looked at it as like, oh, here's a big milestone I get to accomplish. I'm going to graduate college. When in all reality, Like, who knows where I am financially? Like, dude, I'm paying close to $1,000 a month to try to get my stuff paid off. I'm not making, like, my money is like, it's up and down every month, how much I make. That's a lot of money. That's a fucking metric ton of money. That's like my rent, you know? So, like, looking at it that way, no, did it shape me into being like who I am? A little bit, and it is both positive and negative, but it's, I think the benefit is that I will take financial decisions a lot more seriously in the future than I would have then, and not do it so much so to rush into a big milestone in my life. Because there are positives too, like again, like our bike race, or like thinking about rowing. We made, national championships twice. Like, there's so many things that go into working like that, and those things like show me that I can do whatever I set my mind to. Like, even accomplishing little things like that, or even doing like 100-mile this year. Like, those are all things that I was able to, see tangible growth in myself and say, cool, like, look what I went out and fucking did. So those are still able to be accomplished, and I don't want to take away from, things that may have a positive benefit to it, but it's tough not to try to think about how much you get rushed into things for the sense of accomplishment.
Well, the hard thing that sucks is like the money puts so much
money.
weight.
You just hear what I just spewed out for 5 minutes. It's all money related.
Yeah,
It's all money related. Dude, the countries across the fucking world are worse off than us. Free education, free healthcare, it's all included in the cost. Like, yeah, you should have access to this. It shouldn't be monetized. Not to the way it is, at least.
no, you want to go to the fancy places. You want to go be a part of the clubs. You want to go off to these like really swanky schools or something. You want to pay all that money. Then yeah, I don't see anything wrong with there still being Ivy League schools or private schools. But if there were state schools that actually were just state schools, and then all that other stuff was
Right.
they would be a whole different ballgame.
Those schools aren't even accessible in our area. I tried to go to our city university. They told me to kick rocks. That same city university is like 20% in the county, and 80% of the population is outside the county in which the school's in. And that's because it's more expensive for the people outside than it is on the inside. But it's all taxed through us. It's crazy, dude. And like that shit is what bums me out, because a lot of it turns into like, oh yeah, I want to go out and accomplish these things, but it always turns out to be a money issue for some reason. I wonder why.
Yeah, and as long as we stay confounded by time and space,
Yeah.
our time gives us our money,
Mm-hmm.
which gives us our space to be able to exist.
Yeah.
We're fucked.
Yeah, because like I even put like other milestones I was thinking of would be like traveling, or like going out and, like I mentioned, buying a house, or getting a new car, or getting that sweet new podcast set up. Like, these are all like cool like milestones that we're hitting along the way, and not one of them are not attached to money. Like, I didn't name one thing that doesn't have some type of like, not even a cheap investment. For us to be on those bikes, dude, we spent a lot of fucking money on those bikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what makes it interesting. I don't want to ramble too much on the money portion, but as I think of milestones, it is interesting to see is like, after you hit 18, it's all related to money.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the real shit, dude. We're sharing the real shit, man.
Yeah.
It ain't just because it ain't direct milestone.
Couple chill guys, 3 chill guys talking about fucking money. That's our podcast now.
3 guys with beards.
3 guys with beards talking money.
But seriously, like, I mean, do you feel the same? I mean, homeboy hit it. Like, a lot of damn near everything that you want to do after 18, like, has some type of, you got to trade your time for money for what you want.
Yeah.
It's just like that movie In Time. You're literally just trading your time to get stuff or service.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah. So.
But man, milestones, like, I'm still stuck on the money thought just for a minute, dude.
No, but to go in kind of what I was saying that too, and it takes us about next into what's next.
Feel pressure.
Was to feel pressure, right? So like, think about, like, we were joking about Ryan. Like, I love Ryan, and he's in town today. We were just like, oh dude, like, I wish I could have saw Ryan when he was in town for Christmas. In all reality, Ryan has 3 fucking children. Like, I love Ryan. Ryan and I have spent countless nights together, hanging out, catching up. Everything. The best part about like someone like Ryan is like, it'll always be the same. Like, I could see Ryan in 5 years and nothing would change. But Ryan has Ryan moved when he was 22. Ryan got married to the girl of his dreams. Ryan had settled down, has a house he's been in for a couple of years now. It's been a couple of years, right? 3 kids, great setup, like boom, 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 boom. I have never moved from Pittsburgh. I don't own a house. I'm not married. I don't have kids. Now, that all being said, is apples, oranges conversation. Like, that's what I find great about it is going back to college thing, I felt pressure to get into that. And that sucked because I still kind of regret the way it went. Not that I went to school, but again, just regret like the decisions I made through that process. With all that being said though, like it is important for me to not compare myself to, especially those around me, double that on the people I care about a lot, to compare what I'm doing in my life to what they're doing in their life. Because I think the biggest thing for me is that just takes the fun out of it. Like that takes away from you being able to write your own story. And in all reality, from what I've seen at least, is when you rush those types of decisions, it usually comes back to bite you in the fucking ass. So while I love that Ryan and his wife are together and they have 3 beautiful kids and they're married and they live only a couple hours away and these are all amazing things for him, I find it very, very important for me nowadays to not feel pressure to do any of those things just because someone else is. And unfortunately, I see a lot of people I know falling victim to that. And it always seems to not work out when you're doing something just because someone else is doing it.
Mm-hmm. You're trying to keep up with the rest of the pack.
Yeah, dude, they're keeping, and going back to the money conversation though, is like, would I feel more willing to keep up with the Joneses if I had money to do so? Not to say that Ryan's in a better financial place than me, not to harp on Ryan. Ryan's just a good example of someone I see who's, checking awesome boxes, awesome life experiences off that I'm very proud of him to see. And like, that's awesome. Me, not, again, this isn't like, God damn, dude, I wish I could do those things. I don't feel that way at all. But if I had more access to money, would I be more willing to go and say, hey, what would it be like for me to buy a house right now? Or could I consider having kids? Now I'm 32, like, no, I'm not married, but would I be more willing to get engaged a little quicker, get into a house a little quicker, have kids a little quicker than I am right now? Is that based on money? Is that based on me? Do I feel the way I am because I don't have those resources?
Yeah. Do you think if you actually had the money,
if money wasn't a thing, would I be married in a house with kids yet? Like knowing how long I've known my girlfriend, the answer is still probably no, but like, would that be on the radar in like a year or two? It still might be, but like, are we like having real conversations about all those things more than we are right now? I think so. So it is interesting to say that, like, yeah, I don't get pressured by other people, but I had access to resources. It might be a little easier to fall into that trap. So maybe I'm lucky.
Yeah, but I feel like sometimes what ends up being the catalyst of the demise of those situations is the money is what comes into play. So like, I feel like a lot of people have made those decisions quickly, but then what actually, okay, we still love each other. We're fighting through this. We're going to do this together. But then the money is what ends up being like the actual demise for the situation. Because you're always fighting over, we don't have any money. Why would you spend it on this? We're trying to do this. We're trying to do that. Wow.
Yeah.
I've watched it. I've seen it. I've lived it. Like, family. Yeah. It's tough. Like watching that like actual like breakdown.
Yeah.
With all that pressure just from all the outside sources. Like, what kind of pressure have you felt before, Tit? Or
right now,
chill guy, too cool, never felt pressure.
I mean, right now I'm in the hot seat of we're kind of next in line for the baby. It's
why does it feel like that though? Like, why do you feel like you're next in line for the baby? Is it your parents? Is it your friends? Is it your spouse?
One, I want to have a child eventually one day. If it's in the cards, that'd be great. And Trisha, before I met her, she actually didn't want to have kids, and it wasn't until like we fell in love, we were dating, and we got married. It's like, it's only because of you, because I love you so much, and I have self-love for myself, that I want to produce a copy that's half of you and half of me. So that's the only reason that for us internally we feel the need, but also within the family circles, it's like, we're getting older. We joke and whatnot, but 31, as far as fertility for a woman, you're starting to get up there. And Trisha thinks she's 32 right now. I'm 31. So the older we get, we're like, well, I don't want to be 60 and I have a toddler. I want to, be 60 and maybe my kid is, I'm throwing baseball with him, or, I might be watching him graduate from high school. But, or maybe even earlier than that at a certain age. But I do feel like there's a little bit of pressure that everyone around my families are cool because we've joked about it, and I think enough people ahead of me have paved the way. Anthony and Amanda, thank you very much. So my older brother and sister-in-law, they've kind of paved the way as far as like, people would be intrusive and asking. So my family's been pretty cool about it, but I think there is like a little bit of social pressure. And even in our group, there's no pressure on it, but you see where everyone's at. Like, Ask was just third kid. And it's like, all right, well, he's going to have his kids for a long time, and he's going to be around to watch all those milestones and rite of passages. But then I feel a little bit of pressure because I'm like, well, it's getting along crunch time. The longer that you wait, the further you get into a geriatric pregnancy, which is in the 30s. So it's like that's crazy to think. You can have a geriatric pregnancy, which means you got more risk. It's an older pregnancy. You run into that as you get into your like middle to late 30s. So it's
that's where like I don't want to get too deep diving on the big pharma talk and all that type of stuff, but like that's where like where pressure comes in, is where it starts to, okay, we're not just like, it's not just a society type of thing where like, okay, we're pushing you to conform into this. No, we're going to bring science into this. And now we're going to utilize your science mentally against you and start to say that, oh, everything starts to deteriorate. And I am not a doctor. I don't know anything. Please understand that. But like the fear, it's not, I don't know all the science and I don't know all the technicalities of it, but it's the fear for me of just like, there are people who are older who didn't have anybody through time, and now they're 40 years old and they want to have a kid. And you're pumping all this fear into them that everything's going to go wrong because they're 40 years old. And you're just like, damn, give them the chance, give them the chance. Like,
well, that's again, like, but think about it. If I go back into the school thought process, if I would have just worked at Safelight 40 hours a week with no bills, made that money, I could have still paid my own rent. I could have went out and been an adult. I could have did that for 3-4 years. Still educated. I'm still someone who's driven, wants to go out and accomplish something, but could have just maybe got like a year or two real life experience, not so much in like, fuck, what I gotta do next, and then just like do it and then go, fuck, why'd I do that? Like, that's where that fear is like unfortunate, because you rush into a pregnancy, you weren't ready, you just moved into a house, like you're just getting your footing with your relationship, you're not giving that child the foundation. That's what my girlfriend and I just talked about, was like, we watched Night Bitch on Hulu, dude. Amy Adams, Night Bitch. She went to watch it. We thought it was going to be funny. It was not funny. It was not fucking funny. So anyway, it's about like this mom whose like husband goes 4 days away working on the road. She's raising the baby by herself. She gave up her dreams to raise the baby, and now like she's like so fucking enraged by this process of like giving up herself and her dreams to raise this kid, and her husband's not grateful of her, that like she starts becoming like primal, like she becomes a dog, sort of, I guess. Yeah. So anyway, but Dylan and I were talking about that after, and it's like, it's not about having kids. I don't think either of us are afraid of having kids or the parents we could be. It's about like the resources we could provide, and like not only that, but like, is our relationship stable enough? Like it is for us right now in a cat, but like a baby, like, are we there yet? And the answer is no, we're not. We just started living together 3 months ago. We're not ready for a baby. Now, with all that being said, it does kind of suck when you get pressured in that and you start hearing the word geriatric and you're fucking 32, dude. What does that even mean? Like, what? 32 and I'm fucking old? We drove past an old folks home My girlfriend goes, "You'll be living there soon, 55 and over." I'm like, dude, 55 is not far away. That's not far away. It's far away enough, but it ain't that fucking far, bro. I could be chilling in an old folks home pretty soon, dude. Lights at the end of the tunnel, you know? I'd just be posted up there. But I think you're nailing it, Tim, man. That's what's tough is that, like, that pressure, and Zach, too, of, like, maybe it's not even like I think about Rye, but, like, I think about just society in general. It's like that fear-mongering of anything in life now. Turn on the news and, like, you're going to die, you know, or you do this, you're going to die. You do that, you're going to die. You do this, you're falling behind. You do that, you're falling behind. And that's just tough to keep up with. And no wonder, since we're all connected more than ever, it fucking sucks and people are forced into the wrong decisions.
It's honestly, it's the B movie with
Jerry
Seinfeld, dude.
Jerry.
It's the hive mentality. Like we live in the hive mind of just society and everybody's souls all coming together and cultivating into this pot. And unfortunately, we just got a lot of shitty souls around. I don't mean to say shitty, but
bro, bunch of Stanley Cup focused fucking people out here.
Not hockey.
Where's mine? No, not hockey. Where's the next Stanley Cup coming from? Target?
yeah, seriously. But no, I think that's where, like,
That was a cheap shot. I'm sorry to all the Stanley Cup fans out there.
it wasn't that cheap of a shot. You paid that much money for a
Open net.
it was an open net, dude. You paid that much money for a damn cup. That's like buying a Yeti cooler when you could have got the Coleman for 59% off.
Could have got it. You ever? You guys that grew up with like a grandpa who had like a Stanley like
Yes.
this like
I just saw one on the marketplace.
yeah. I always thought it was funny. Like no one ever wanted those. You can go to the thrift store for $3,
Yeah.
and they make it pink, and it's like, all right, dude, $50, and they're sold out.
The lunchbox and cup combo.
Yeah,
I just saw one for like $45. I was like, I'm this close to buying it.
yeah.
I've got one downstairs. I love that thing.
What has happened to our society?
Yeah,
Those are legit.
they're legit. That actually does a lot more than this cup does. Man, we really went off the topic.
Anyway,
Milestones today. No,
we're talking milestones.
We're talking milestones deep, dude. I was thinking of something when we were talking there that I want to probably turn into another episode at some point in time, and it might come out in the Titty Tickles the Chakra episode.
Hey,
But where I was starting to think about with this night bitch
Huh?
was, I think that at the end of your incarnation as a human, if you don't end your carnation finalizing yourself as being grounded in your heart, then that's where you end up, if you're down in all the materialistic type of stuff, that's where you end up reincarnating back as the bee or the dog or something. And then you have to work yourself back up out of the bestiality mentality to get back into being a human.
Yeah.
And then as you get higher, if like I ended my life and I'm now like I was able to make it up to like having my throat unlocked.
Yeah, now you're an English.
Both as a human, but yeah, then I come back as someone who's like, yeah, dude, I don't know, dude. I was having a weird thought of like,
I know, I get it,
downward
yeah.
spiral type of stuff.
Yeah.
like, where that might come back into play, like with this whole mentality of like milestones and not feeling appreciated.
Yeah, no, you're destined to continue to make the same mistakes. That's why I think we still are here. Like if I'm reincarnated, it's because the issues I'm dealing with right now are the same issues I've dealt with for generations of me being here.
Yes.
Yeah, and like I even took that a step further recently, even thinking about like my parents or my grandparents and the shit that they were destined to continue to do. I'm like, yeah, it's a lot of the same shit I struggle with, and here I am, like still not learning anything at all. Like, does that mean I'm gonna come back in another time, whether it's I die, my luck, I would die, like, oh dude, thank God, right back. I'd be right back at it again. But destined to still fuck up the same shit, man. And I think that's a lot of like where I think milestones, if we're getting back on topic a little bit, help you like actualize who you truly are. Like these are things that you can also intentionally set out to accomplish. That if I would get out, the way of my own self of like this like monetary issue of accomplishing things, like there are a lot of things that I can do without fucking spending any money. Like journaling that Brandon's tricked me into doing. Thanks, Brandon. I clearly couldn't journal to save my life. And then Brandon starts coming up with these great prompts for our episodes. I'm like, oh, cool, dude. Here I am just writing my thoughts down. Crazy. But like little things like that, where I think that in this journey of trying to right our wrongs or whatever it might be, having these milestones that we intentionally set, not so much a society type milestone where it's like the go to school or do this or do that, where that's huge. And as far as your fear or lack thereof of incarnation or reincarnation, then it's like, cool, if I'm just going out there and righting all the wrongs and going after myself the way I know I should be, because we all know, then I think that's a really beneficial way to look at it.
I was honestly having some interesting thoughts when we started talking about this milestones, because I've made a comment to my grandma before that I believed that this was going to be my last incarnation. That I believed that I, at 28 years old, having the epiphany or whatever the hell it was that I had of just like all the information of the universe basically rushing back into my body and going to the Akashic records and just like seeing everything. And you're just like, I think this is my last go round, man. Like, is this the milestone, like, for me to where, like, this is the last opportunity to be a human? And, like, I get to now go off and become the creator.
Yeah.
It's like, that to me, like, that's kind of sick if that's the case. Because I really do believe that's, to me, is the ultimate milestone. The ultimate milestone to me is the becoming Christ consciousness and becoming the actual creator. Raising yourself up to a dimension where you have now exceeded the third, the fourth, the fifth. You're up to something like the sixth dimension where you can literally look back on the third dimension, because technically, like, the only way you can observe a 3D is by being 4D.
Yeah.
So technically, as much as they say we're living in this third dimensional world, like, we're actually 4-dimensional beings, arguably, in this 3-dimensional world.
Yeah. So that milestone is like that's the one true big accomplishment. But just think of all the rites of passage you have along the way while you're on Earth. Like when you finally are able, as like that God being, to take off the simulation helmet, and you turn around and like me and Tanner sit next to you, like, dude, how many times did you piss your pants while I was down there? Because I counted fucking 740 in the last 37 lives I lived. Dude, I youngest time I pissed my pants, child. Oldest time was actually 94 years old, dude. I was like right on the last go around. I was 94. I was going on the way out. I said, what if I just piss my pants one more time?
We gotta try this. We gotta experience.
So I guess if that's your true milestone, if we're thinking milestones, and of course, like, to reach a milestone, you're going to take your knocks on the way. There's more good than bad. That's why you get to where you eventually want to go. Like, how do you have to live your life to ensure this is your last go around? Would be maybe not an answer for right now, but what I would take away from this is like, cool, if this is my last go around and I want to ensure that, what wrongs do I have to right?
I honestly have to do exactly what Titty said in the last episode. Just be good. Isn't that how he put it? Was just
Something like that.
Or no,
Some Santa Claus bullshit.
No, it was it was do the right thing.
You could always be busy, or you could always be doing the right thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I could always be busy here doing a bunch of devious shit to work or whatever the hell it is.
Mad scientist.
Or I could be busy doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Which is working on myself, which is continuing to better me, continuing to go after the things that I strive for, not sitting here for another year in my frickin' office, in my little studio I got here, and not creating to inspire.
Yeah.
Like, that's like my whole thing is I don't know how to become someone who is so vastly viewed by the entire world and be able to just say, it's all an experience. It's all about having fun. It's all about just doing it. Like, it's crazy to think that, like, it's crazy to think of a comment of like, you decide to get in your car and you just decide to start basically like a Grand Theft Auto experience. Like, you just start driving down the highway and, oh shit, you just ran someone off the road. You ran a family of 4 off the road and they're burning in the car, and you're doing your thing, man. You're off. You're on your own, and you look to your left and you look to your right, and there's nobody around you, man. It's just you, and you did it. You went after it. You became you.
You got 5 stars.
Yeah, you got 5 stars. But no, like I know how crazy that sounds, but like it's hard to be able to finally, like, there's an African American gentleman on TikTok that pops up on a regular basis, and he's got a beard, he's got his Kangol hat on, and he makes the statement of, you don't get to pick when the universe, like, gives you the magic glasses. Like, the universe picks when you get to put on the magic glasses. But as soon as you put on the magic glasses, you can never go back. And you never see things the same way as they ever were before. And you see things for what they are, not for what they're trying to be, and like all this different interesting shit. And to me, that's where, like, just going after you, being you, not feeling any of those pressures and all this type of stuff, all leads back to going within, doing the journaling, being with yourself. Free. No money. There's no money involved in that. There's no money involved with sitting down and like having the hard conversations with myself. I don't do it enough. I'm not sitting here like I'm some freaking guru on top of a mountain right now. Like, I got all the answers, bro.
Yeah.
Follow me. No, I don't. But the thing that I do know is that Titty hit the nail on the head with you could always be busy, or you could always be busy doing the right thing. And that, to me, like, you do know what the right thing is. You do know that I just ate an entire bag of Doritos. You know, they were 2 for $5. I got another bag in there. I could eat the other bag. Oh, man.
I could never put myself in this scenario.
Oh, I've done this. I've accomplished this. I've success. I didn't have a nickname Dorito for a reason, dude. I used to hit dingers to get to third base to get my free bag of Doritos.
Wow.
I talked about that before.
Yeah, he's always going to third.
Always go
Infield round, heading to third, baby.
She said Doritos. My stomach. It sounds pretty good.
Doritos.
But I'm just like, I don't know, the candy bar.
So you make it sound so easy, though. You make it sound so easy. You make it sound
the thing.
All right. So why? Hold on. So not why. Why are you making it so easy? No, you do make it sound so easy. We always know what the right thing is. So why is it so fucking hard?
Because you're a human.
Right. But like, then you're just destined to fuck everything up.
Because you're not your mind, you're not your body. You're a soul experiencing those two things. And that's where the fuck up all happens.
Yeah.
The fuck up is that I put emotions, weight onto things. I do it myself too, dude. I'm not sitting here saying that I'm a human. I'm a human right now. I'm gonna continue to put weight on a human. And I'm a human right now, dude. Like, I'm gonna continue to put weight on these things. But the day that I get to the place where I don't put weight on it anymore is when I will have succeeded. Do I think that I have the capabilities of being able to accomplish that in this life? Fuck, yes. Do I think that I'll do it? Potentially.
Yeah.
When someone would ask me, I would say, we'll see.
Yeah. I just feel like it's hard because a lot of the times it feels like it's a losing game anyway. You know? Like, I don't know. That's for me. Maybe like when you expand, and that's surface level bullshit. When you expand enough to think of like, you know, if there's a higher realm and where you go, and are we always destined to just be here, or are we going somewhere else when we pass or die or stop reincarnating, whatever it may be. But, dude, with how many people are on the planet? Like 7 billion? Yeah, like that's a lot of moving parts for you to just be able to be on your P's and Q's at all fucking time. And that's why, like, maybe you're right. Maybe your spirit shouldn't, and that's what I'll take from this too, is that your spirit doesn't have to coincide with what happens down here. Like, you're just experiencing it. Like, you're obviously gonna fuck it up. There's no way you're gonna get it perfect, but you still have this opportunity to learn something, go out and do something, experience something in general. And I think that's the biggest thing that you mentioned too, is that release of weight and not being so worried about what the fuck is going on. That's when I have my most fun. It's just cool. Like, yeah, maybe it's a losing battle. Maybe you're not ever going to get it perfect, but you're just out there doing the right thing, then it shouldn't matter anyway.
There's just so much to it as a human that to where you're honestly, to me, being a human is being locked in a prison that you have to get out. And unfortunately, I don't think that there's any outside sources that are going to ever get you out of that prison. That prison is yours alone, and you have to then break yourself out of it.
Yeah, as long as we're in a society where people value going to escape rooms and trying to get out of them instead of their own echo chamber with their own thoughts, then we're fucked, dude. Like, I can't even sit down and have a conversation with myself for 5 minutes. I'm not gonna lock myself in a room for $40 and try to find my own way out.
That's hot. You hit the nail on the head, dude.
Yeah,
Again,
doesn't make it any fucking easier.
No, it doesn't make it any easier. And I can honestly say from experience, when you finally see all of that, and I'm not sitting here like I'm no different between me and anybody else in this entire existence. It's just I hit a checkpoint maybe before other people did. Dude, the hardest thing is being in this fucking prison where you know all that shit. You're watching people literally just unconsciously make decisions that they know is the wrong decision. Like, and you have to sit here and just watch all that type of stuff and know that there is nothing you can fucking physically do to change that. And that's where, like, I've been in such a turmoil and an internal battle of having to get over the fact that there is no right and there is no wrong. And that is the end all be all, dude. And I just do not think I'm going to be able to accomplish it. And that is where I say, we'll see. No, we'll see. We'll see if he accomplishes it. We'll see if he's a bumblebee.
Hey, Dad, can we go to McDonald's after soccer practice? Oh, we'll see. The answer is no.
Yeah. The answer is no. If you are curious, let's just get it all passed right now. But no, that's where this whole game is wild, because it is a game. But dude, I don't know, man. I don't think I make it sound easy, but if I do, please tell me how, because
No,
I sit over here and I think it's the most challenging thing, dude.
yeah. No, I worry about the game aspect too of trying to accomplish things like milestones in general. Like, oh, dude, if I would just make it a game, people I read that self-help stuff. Like, oh, just make it a game. Like, if I just make it a game, dude, I'm gonna be fucking grinding diamond or what do they call it? The camos on your guns in Call of Duty.
skins.
Yeah, I'm never gonna even fucking look up, dude. You don't want me to turn this into a game. I'll never talk to any of you again. You know what I mean? It's gonna be fucking, I'm just grinding skids. I fucking look up and it's 50 years fucking later. I'm like, where the fuck have I been? That's the last thing I want. You know? So maybe it does make it easier just trying to make shitty things fun. But even thinking about it as a game, man, I'm like, I don't know about that one either.
What do you think, Tit? Do you like to look at life like a game, or do you find uncomfort?
So I'll take you guys back to a hard time. I don't think you knew me at the time. I think it was right before we met. But Titty knows when I was 18, I was having a pretty tough time. Like, I was going through some shit, and basically I had no choice. It was like I had to make it like a game. Everything was an uphill battle. Things that I enjoyed, things I didn't enjoy. No one really knew the struggle I was going through, and I felt like in a bit of a identity crisis, trying to find who I am, trying to find joy in the world again. I felt like I needed to really build myself back up, and I really just gave myself no choice. I was like, work can be fun. Work has to be fun. and you just need to get through it. Pretty much my salvation was once I went to Slippery Rock. Then I was able to like open myself up into a new chapter. But until then, everything was grind. Me just going out and hanging out with people was a grind. Like it was like I was in a hole and I needed to climb out, and everything. Like whenever I was like, you know, you got your math homework from CCAC. I was like, all right, well, the things that I enjoy could suck, or the thing that is work sucks. So I might as well do the work. It's like everything sucks. Everything's terrible. I'm not enjoying myself. I'm not enjoying my time. If I was somebody who was into sleeping a lot, then I would be sleeping. But that's not my coping mechanism. So my coping, they call it, Freud calls it sublimation, to do positive things as your coping mechanism. But yeah, for me, I had no choice. It was turn everything into a game. And I wasn't, now I think I'm more capable of crying now, but back then it was like, you just can't cry. Like, so it was like, it was basically only one way out of a tunnel. Like there was only one way out. The only way out was to turn it into a game. And so everything I was doing, I focused on, like you said, with doing the right thing. It was like, all right, you're only going to give yourself one option. And it was like a drill sergeant. It was like, you get one option, you go work, you go turn it into a game, try to have fun where it can be played, and then just see where you are in a couple months. And then by the time I got out, Slippery Rock did feel like a rite of passage. I got that letter of acceptance, and then I was like, all right, I'm on my way. And then when I went to Slippery Rock, it was all business. I was either in the gym, I was playing lacrosse, trying to get better at lacrosse, or I was studying, or I was in class. And then if I wasn't in all those things, I was hanging out with my roommates and hanging out with new friends. And it was like, all right, now I feel like now I can switch that dial back down. Now not everything has to be a game. Now I can just enjoy my life. So it was quite a battle.
You hit the nail on the head. You got to take the emotion out of it.
Yeah, that's when I've been my the most beneficial to myself is when I stopped thinking about shit so much. It's the truth. I think that's how they asked Mike Tyson how he accomplished everything he did. And he's like, dude, I took my emotion completely out. I became the task. I did not think about it. I did not care about it. I am the task. That is who I identify as, and that's how he got shit done.
Mm-hmm. That's what it felt like. Yeah, just become the task and just completely separate yourself.
Sounds fucking horrible. It sounds horrible.
It's just like,
don't stay in that place for long.
No, but I get it, man. Like I do get it, and a lot of that is like it maybe not becoming militant and becoming a task. That's a little, my opinion, it's a little ridiculous, but that's how you become the heavyweight champion of the fucking world, I guess. But for me and my little problems I got going on over here, I think that is a lot of it too. Is to just, I think what's the term? Eating the frog. Like do the thing you want to do least first. Mm-hmm. That helps me because like because if I don't do it, I'm just gonna sit there and think about it. And the more I think about it, the less I'm gonna do it. Like there's about a 20-second time period that occurs of me thinking about doing something I know I should do, and if I don't do it in that 20 seconds, I'm not fucking doing it. There's no way. So if I want to wash the dishes, I walk in the door, I see the dirty dishes. Okay, here we go, set the timer, go. And I'm thinking about it. I'm like, all right, put my things down, take my shoe off, there's the dishes. So if I did the dishes now, what can I do? And if I think about doing the dishes, like, oh, what if I just go sit down for 5 minutes and then just unwind, then I do the dishes, and then 20 seconds pass and the dishes are still there tomorrow. You know what I mean? So I think for me, and what I've accomplished the most and thinking about milestones are things I want to continue to do. Whether it's work on the podcast when I get home, which is still a journey for me. It's about just doing it. Like, I'm going to do it and then doing it, as much as it might suck, or as much as there's other factors in the world. There's always going to be other factors in the world. Just here is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it. And I know for a fact I'll feel better about myself having done it than I will just thinking about it and waking up tomorrow and still having not accomplished it at all.
My eternal milestone hell has been the fact that
eternal milestone hell. Can we rename the episode?
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
You're fine.
Hilarious.
Is the fact that, like, I was telling Anastasia this earlier. We were talking about, like, discipline and all that type of stuff. And, like, I'm now 32. I started this all back up when I was 28. And she's like, you were disciplined when you were younger. You were an absolute badass when you moved. I'm like, yeah, but I lost it. And now I'm back to, like, that version of me. And I said, it's taken 4 years, Anastasia. And I'm still not chalking off my full list. I'm still not doing my journal every single day. She goes, you write that Sam Dame affirmation 14 times every damn morning. I said, yeah, because that's like what I got to keep doing to get myself back to that place where I've taken emotion out of it.
Mhm.
And I'm just, I am the experience.
Yeah.
And it, to me, like, I sit here and I have actual fears. And I should have talked about this last week, but, like, I actually have fears of, is this the right way?
Mhm.
Like, why did this information pop into my head? Why are these types of thoughts what I'm cultivating? Is this okay? Or am I completely fucking lost? And I'm going to go through life for another 20 years. And I'm going to pop out at 50 and I'm going to go, I'm in the old folks' home. What the fuck? How am I in the old folks' home at 55 years old? No, but I mean,
Yeah. I'm counting down the days. I got a timer on my phone now.
no, you don't.
Countdown to 55.
Damn.
22 years.
But you say 28,000 days.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that is. Oh.
So,
Hold on. One more. What is the, like, if you think about these big milestones you've accomplished, what is the least beneficial milestone you've ever accomplished off the top of your head?
losing my virginity.
Okay, no, that's stupid. The bad answer. How, like cut that up. Like, is there a time where you're like, oh, dude, you drank like a case of beer once, didn't you? Didn't you like case race and drink the entire case of beer?
Oh,
See, that's what I'm getting.
okay.
Like, that's easily the most beers you ever drank in one day.
All right, so I would say that a milestone that joining a fraternity. I love all you guys. I have mad respect for you guys. You guys are some of the greatest people I've met. I seriously, like, you KDR boys are legit. And when I see you guys, I love seeing you guys at football games and different stuff like that. I love chatting with you guys. I love giving you guys. Some of you don't give me the secret handshake anymore, which is not okay, not cool, because I did go through all the bullshit. But, like, leaving that fraternity and, like, looking back, like, leaving Pitt Johnstown and looking back on my time and, like, what I did so stupid.
Yeah.
Like, all right, here we go. All right, 2 funny stories from me to finish out for my points on this episode.
All right.
2 milestones. Milestone number 1, completely useless. Taking Adderall while drinking to see how many more beers you can put down. So just ramping up the speed with the depressant, and that's a fantastic. Let me tell
I've never felt more alive in my entire life. I could have ran for president in that pocket. About 16 beers deep. I could have ran for president.
I probably finished an MD 2020, a Mad Dog 2020 on my own. I think I drank half of the bottle of. We were stuck in a room, and there was a mixer, and everybody had to you had to finish everything in the case to be able to get out of the room. And I was like, there was some girl in one of the other rooms that I wanted to mac on probably. And I just was like, I need to get out of this room. And so I'm all hopped up on Adderall and was already drinking. And I just grabbed the Mad Dog 20, just pound that shit back. I'm like, we need to get out of here. I've had enough of being in this room.
Yeah.
No, but anyways, that was the night that all of my clothes were perfectly folded in the frat house.
Mm-hmm.
In one of the guys' rooms. I can't remember which brother's room. My dorm room was over almost a mile away from the fraternity house. I woke up butt naked. All my clothes perfectly folded. The only thing that I remember from that night was the campus security guard was coming down from the time of like the mat getting out of the case race to getting woken up the next morning butt naked, and my roommate going, yeah, I mean, only thing I remember was the campus security police comes rolling by in his little golf cart with a blue light, and I saw the blue light special, and I was like, I'm fucked if I get caught right now. And I jump into the bushes, and I did a whole, who's that creeping in the wind? Like in the bushes, just watching this guy, like not knowing that whole time that I was butt naked. Just walked the whole way back through campus, just butt naked. Probably talked to multiple people in that process. Milestone, completely useless.
Yeah.
Milestone number 2 was the case race actual party, which it's called Beer Ball, and it's a team of 5, 60 beers, 2 cases. First fraternity to finish those 2 cases of beer wins. It's the last competition of Greek Week. First time any freshmen have ever been asked. Do you know what's really funny? Me and my buddy Bosco, his name was Dave Bosco. Dude was an absolute G. Me and Bosco were on the team. We were the only 2 left finishing it out. And we had these big like gallon pitchers that we were pouring all the beers into and just drinking it. And there was about a half a gallon left. And I had already smashed too many beers at this point in time. And me and Bosco are just trying to finish like the last like 12 beers that have to be down. And someone has to not throw up at the end of this whole situation.
Wait, there can only be one that hasn't thrown up, or no one?
One person in the group has to not throw up for like 5 to 10 minutes after you've finished.
Wow.
You have to survive like 5 to 10 minutes without throwing up. So me and Bosco are just passing this pitcher back and forth. He finally goes down, dude, and just turns right in. And as soon as you can keep going, but like as soon as you yak, like you're useless at this point. And so he's done. I just grabbed the whole thing. I slanged it back, and in perfect timing, just like divine timing as usual for my existence. The one girl, I think it was Katie, came in. She had 2 bottles of champagne. The girls had just got done, the sororities, and she comes walking through the door, and I just grabbed both bottles of champagne, and I just popped them with my thumbs and was just shaking them over top of everybody, going, we won the championship. We popping champagne like we won the championship game. And I remember Weber grabbed me. I knew his little brother. We were in the same grade at Bethel. And he grabs me, puts me in a corner because he was the president. He goes, I understand you're having fun, but you got it. You can't puke. And as someone came walking by, I grabbed the fucking beer. So I've been standing in that corner. I was like, well, if I'm going to be standing here, I might as well have some fun in the process. And I'm drinking a fucking beer as I'm trying to sit here and like not puke for the next 5 to 10 minutes.
Jesus.
2 milestones. Like I said, I had tons of fun with those guys. I had countless high rides through the Johnstown area, just bumping music with those homies and having a great time. I have my craziest police story to date of literally getting all of us off. We had an ounce of weed in the car with us, and everybody was hammered. It wasn't I was the only one who wasn't hammered. I was the sober one driving us to go get a blunt at the Sheets, and was trying to do Tokyo Drift. Was Tokyo drifting and got pulled over by the cops, and was able to literally talk us out of this, what should have been my life completely fucked at that point in time. Mm-hmm. Just completely talked us out of this situation. Nobody got in trouble. The homeboy was in the back seat basically telling the cop, like, the snozberries taste like snozberries. Like he kept, it was a little coupe. So he kept sticking his head right between like the little area right here, and he'd go, "What seems to be the problem, officer?" And I'm just like, "Bro, you gotta shut up in the back, dude. Like, I got this covered." Like, shut up.
We're about to go down.
So yeah, great stories, but that is something from my life that like, could I have done without? Sure. But am I looking back on them and going, I love these stories and I love these experiences and shout out to those homies? Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
But on the milestone of becoming Christ consciousness,
Did nothing for you?
yeah.
No, I think about going to Archie's for wing night. You had to call. Did you go to Archie's? That was more of a college thing. I don't know if you called the Archie's train with us. Maybe.
Maybe. It sounds familiar.
Archie's down the south side. When like Ryan and Nick and everyone still lived there, we'd go there for wing night. And I remember eating. It wasn't an astronomical number. It was close to 50 chicken wings. It's like 40, 45. And I just like, Ryan's like, if you're eating them, I'm buying. We'll see how many you can eat. It was one of those safe flight days where it's like 5 a.m. We're 10 hours, go to class, show up. Dude, just buy fives. I did like 20. They're like, you can't do 25. Can't do 30. Can't do 35. Can't do 40. Can't do 40. I think it's somewhere between 45 and 50. For lack of going into detail, dude. One of those things that like that number's right there. I'll never eat that many wings again in my entire life. Solely because of the feeling I had the next day of just like the teriyaki like bubbling through my guts. The what was not choice cut chicken from Archie's, dude. The 25-cent wings back in the day. So I was thinking about that as like a number or something that I remember doing that sucked. That literally is the definition of this added nothing to my life. But I still remember it just as much as I remember graduating from college.
Well, that's where like, and my last point, last episode I made, or not actually last episode, this would have been episode 31 that we're going to be releasing this week. I made the joke of, I was talking about, or no, it was hard work. It was episode 32, the one you're working on. And I made the joke of, I'm not a fan of David Goggins. I'm putting it out there. And like, I have nothing against David Goggins at all. Mad respect for a homie. But like, at what point in time does he just say, okay, I'm abundant? Like, I am abundance. I can keep going forever and ever and ever. Like, I'm showing you people. Like, I think that's what was so fantastic about his message, was that it was really, he was showing you that a human is abundant. Should you be doing those things to yourself? Probably not, because you're basically just cooking yourself from the inside. But it was a message that I didn't have a lot of respect for originally, because I was just like, man, like I told you, I put myself on a bike, I beat myself up, and then I sit there and I'm like crepid for two to 3 days, and I'm trying to recover. And so that's where I was like, the milestones just thought to me like, that was something that I don't know why I brought that up, but it was just, to me, I felt like that was something correlated to like what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Tit, I don't need you, but I would love for you to ride us out on something here.
As you guys were talking, I was like trying to brainstorm, what do I have that's a milestones kind of, and I had a really bad answer. My answer was like, well, I feel like all of my milestones have played a part in who I became, kind of like a collage. And I was like, that's bullshit. Don't use that. So I was like, all right, what's some other so there's two things. There's one, I think about work, like try to give you these, my work doesn't do it right now. I'm enjoying my job a lot, but there are different jobs where they try to give you these bullshit milestones as if you're going to get some kind of reward. It's like, oh, you reached tier 2. Oh, what does that do? Do I get a pay bump? No, you don't. But you got tier 2. It's like, well, I don't fucking care. So I would say that any jobs that are giving you some kind of incentive, if you don't have like a skill that you've developed by the end of it, I see, for me, I collect skills. Any job that you go to, you should be collecting skills. Right now, I have something I'm not going to get paid for, a certification they want me to jump on. I didn't tell you guys, there's like a board that they want me to be a part of for training and for assessment. And I'm like, I'm just going to do that just so I can bump myself up. But if opportunities like that, I try to take those in a job. But if there's job things that they're like not giving you new skills, they're not giving you any kind of pay incentive or stock incentive, any of that, and they say, oh, you've reached this new tier, is like, those are fucking useless. Like, if you're just coming by to tell me like you're not giving me a handshake, smack on the ass, I don't care. I don't want anything from you if you're telling me, oh yeah, because I won't throw shade on my one company, but Tit knows how it is in sales. I'm sure you've had some sales in your job where they just give you like, oh, here's a great example for coworkers. He's like, oh, you had to yell at your first nurse. Congrats, let's go out to lunch. It was like, I'm sitting there like, what the fuck? Like, you guys are celebrating that like you yelled at a nurse? I'm like I don't really think that's part of the job, but I don't know. I'm new. But yeah, so any shit where you're kind of celebrating nonsense, but I'm really a huge advocate for celebrating like minor accomplishments and whatnot. But if you're not like unlocking your next level, then don't be celebrating it. Or if you're not unlocking a skill, adding something to yourself like monetary value or skill level development, then I don't really care. There's one that Derek was there for, the American Legion. I still don't really even know what I won. Like Derek and I, we were in 8th grade. There was an American Legion. He got voted in, and it is for like the person of God and of country. And then we get ready. It's time to accept it. And then girl with the same last name, Megan, she goes up to accept the award and has this really nice speech. And I'm like, wait, we write speeches for this? I was like, I still don't even know what it is. Like, so I went up there. I was like, yeah, just, I want to thank everybody who got me to this point. Yeah, took a lot of work, just being me. I want to thank the great country of the United States. Legit, 100%. I was like, I have no idea what I'm accepting, but thank you.
Accepting the award, most likely to be Hulk Hogan.
Oh, brother. But that might have been Randy Savage. But,
all right, maybe not.
But yeah, that one I still to this day don't know what I won, but I am American Legion, whatever that means. But yeah, so bullshit work celebrations that don't add anything to you. It just tells you, yeah, you've given away this much of your life. Thank you.
Just slap me on the ass.
Yeah, just slap me on the ass.
Next time.
Just bend me over and slap me on the ass.
Not far, but yeah, just
bend me over, expose the cheek.
Yeah.
Slap me on the ass.
not farther,
Yeah.
but just
Bend me over. Bend me over.
Expose the cheek.
Slap on the ass.
God damn.
Yeah, those are my two. Kind of useless.
This is a good episode.
Was it?
It was.
Oh, okay.
It was actually.
I feel a little more relaxed over here.
It was.
I feel a little more chill guy, like type, just like fucking total. I have my hands in my pockets.
Yeah, we're chilling.
I was, can only imagine what I was doing.
All right, y'all. This was another fantastic installment of the Dismount podcast. Today we discussed
up here.
milestones. He's got milestone pockets.
I got pockets right here.
So, as always, the squad says, "Don't trust us, trust yourself." Honestly, we probably need to add Titty's line to the end now. Don't trust us, trust yourself. You could always be busy, or you could always be doing the right thing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
No, but seriously, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
Thank you, guys.
later.
Thanks again for tuning in to episode 35, Milestones. Have you heard all the different ways to live? Don't hesitate to catch the group's next release, episode 36, Diet. If I am what I eat, is that why I feel so greasy? Woo! The group gets together and we talk about where our diet's at this point, what kind of things we're going to start working on, and just honestly, like, what are all the crazy different diets that are out there? As always, this isn't you should do this or you should do that. Learn from our bullshit to help you with your bullshit. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you guys on the next one.